If you want to find that kind of love, you need to be fishing in the right pond and you need to be fishing with the right bait, okay?
Okay.
If you throw out the wrong bait, whatever kind of fish you want to get, you got to throw out the kind of bait to get that kind of fish. See what I'm
Whatever do you mean?
So,
this
if I'm
goes
coming
so wrong.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unanswered, a
Unanswered.
podcast where we love to think, question, and connect. We love to use idioms, phrases, and famous sayings from different cultures to examine life's biggest problems and hopefully help you find some answers. My name is Joe.
And I'm Joyce. We love to bridge generations, nations, and stations and give you a glimpse into our lives.
But before we give you a glimpse into our life, what we need you to do, put a finger and press the subscribe button. Press it now.
And follow us on your favorite social media platform. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, Unanswered 100. You can find us on all these platforms.
All the social medias, okay? Just go look at it and subscribe. Okay.
We have a great idiom
This is a great
saying
one.
for
It's
you.
not only a great one, it's one that I think has lots of questions and conversations and
And I
always
think
comes up.
it's in every language.
It's in every language.
Yeah.
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 That's a good one.
So it's love is blind.
That was bad. Okay. But before we get into it, let's see what the idiom says and where it came from. What do you think?
Yeah,
Find
let's
out the
watch.
history? Let's watch.
Love is blind, an ancient Greek proverb. 2,500 years ago, the Greeks had a god for love. His name was Eros, and they painted him blindfolded. Not by accident. That blindfold was a statement. Love cannot see. Love will not see. It was a warning built into the image itself. Plato took it further. He wrote that a person in love is blinded to truth, to reason, to reality. And he didn't think that was romantic. He thought it was dangerous. For centuries, that idea lived in paintings, in sculptures, in whispered warnings. But nobody had written it as a phrase. Until Shakespeare. He didn't just use the phrase, he became obsessed with it. It appears in play after play. But his boldest statement? A fairy queen who falls desperately, hopelessly in love with a donkey, unable to see what everyone else could plainly see. Shakespeare wasn't being funny, he was making a point. And then, 400 years later, science proved them both right. In 2004, researchers at University College London discovered that falling in love literally switches off the parts of your brain responsible for critical thinking and judgment. Love isn't just figuratively blind. So the real question is, what are you choosing not to see?
This is a great big question.
I think it's very telling that this saying came from thousands of years ago.
Yeah. Mhm.
And traveled across culture, and every culture that I know of adopted a version of it. So it tells me that it's a universal sentiment.
That's what I was going to say. It's universal.
Yes.
Every culture deals with this. It doesn't matter. I think everyone is asking this question, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is love blind? We all are dealing with that in some way, shape, or form. Is love blind? So what do you think? Just answer the question right now. Answer the question. This is going to be a 2-minute episode.
Oh my gosh. I can't in good conscience agree to it because love for me, I think it's very much an action. And
Yes.
so I think I understand the sentiment and I agree with it if we can define the word a little bit better. Because if someone says to me, if someone asks me, is infatuation blind? I would say, yes, it is. I've experienced it. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Yes, infatuation is absolutely blind. It's the crushing rage.
The crush.
Face. Ugh.
I got a crush on you. I found out. What you're saying basically is that
Yeah.
We have a different definition of love. So we're talking about do people just fall in love, or is it like do they just blindly fall in love? Right? Is love blind? And you're saying, well, we first need to define what we mean when we say love, right?
Yes.
And so there's two different definitions, I think, major definitions. Of course, there's many different kinds of love.
Yes.
Right. Many, but two different definitions that we're kind of working with today.
Yeah.
Would you say that?
There's infatuation and there's love.
Okay, let me rephrase that. So there's infatuation and there's two separate things.
It's two separate things.
Okay, so describe them. What is infatuation?
From a girl's point of view, when I see someone who's really cute, a boy who's really cute,
like me.
honey, I think you're all that.
What's up?
Yeah, so you just, or, some character attribute that you're really attracted to. Like, it could be looks, it could be their personality, it could be their physique, it could be their voice, it could be the way they treat you. I don't know. Like, it could be so many things.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. That's partly infatuation. I don't think I need to describe infatuation for guys, but what's up? But I think that many people mistake it for love. But before we jump into that, what would you say love is? You already described it a little bit.
Like I said, I think love is an action word. And also, you can't separate love from commitment. Without commitment, you can't call it love. Would you agree?
That is actually a very deep statement. So without commitment, you can't call it love. I would say it more like without relationship, which is commitment. You can't call it love.
Yeah.
Yes. Like without deep relationship, you can't really call it love. You can call it commitment. We can call it stability of relationship. But that promise of loyalty.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to call it marriage because some people are allergic to the name, to the term marriage, and that's fine. Don't get married. But if we're honest, it all boils down to commitment.
I would say get married. I'm saying get married. It's one of the best things that can happen to you.
Real love always leads to a form of commitment.
Commitment, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, commitment,
So
deep form of relationship, yes.
I could be infatuated with, I don't know, just like in Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night Dream play, she was infatuated with a donkey. Honestly, I could find people cute. I could find people's voice very attractive, or you know.
Doing? You're like, not that voice.
But
you doing?
Do I love them? No.
Yeah, I understand. And so it becomes very, I don't know. Yes, I think infatuation is more something that it doesn't have that commitment level to it. And with infatuation, I want to be very careful what I say right now. There's a lot of emotion involved in that infatuation stage that are all positive, they're very heightened.
Yeah.
But I think there's almost also in that infatuation stage, in that infatuation stage, there's also a lot of feeling emotions, like the butterflies, and it's a lot like that. Whereas love is more, if I could say, it's concrete. Right, which also goes back to that commitment that you're talking about, right? So if we talk about the definitions, we need to establish that first, right? So when we say love, we're talking about that commitment, that concrete aspect.
Committed action,
it's not the infatuation aspect, right?
Yeah.
So when we go back to the question, is love blind? What you're saying is, or what we're saying, because I think I agree with you, is that infatuation is blind.
Yes.
But love is not.
I would say so. Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm not denying that some infatuations would lead to love. or it's a precursor to love. I mean, like, we have to be attracted to each other. That's how we're made.
Right.
We need that attraction. So I'm not saying one is bad and one is not. I'm just differentiating it.
Right.
Because you know how in cartoons you've got Cupid like shooting arrows at different people. Like I think it's very cute, but I just don't think it works like that. Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, there's the other cartoons that you can think about, which I definitely don't think it, like Pepe Le Pew.
No.
But that wasn't love. That was just him being very creepy.
Yes.
Those cartoons, I don't know why, but they make me so uncomfortable when I was young. They made me so uncomfortable. I was like, I don't like Pepe Le Pew. First of all, he's a skunk, but he's really, really creepy. Okay, but I digress. Let's go back really quick. Let's rewind. I love that the history on this.
Yes.
Right? Because it says that love is actually scientifically blind. Right? Now, when it's talking about love, I think what they're talking about, what they're describing is actually that infatuation.
Yes,
right?
the heightened emotions, all those feelings, the warm, fuzzy feelings that you feel when you first met someone that you have a crush on.
But with that, just knowing that, wow, that's so amazing that they did this study, first of all. What was it, 2004?
Yeah, 2004.
2004,
University of College London.
Yes, and in the study, they basically tested, they hooked them up to sensors, hooked their brains up to sensors, and tested to see what the activity was. And they found that the activity in certain areas, those areas where you make critical judgments, things of that nature, that it actually was less activity when they were in these situations with the love situation. Now, it's kind of wild because it's like, whoa, how did you actually do this study? You know, we can't go into all that part. That's a whole nother episode. But the reality, they said, and a lot of people allude to this, is that in that study, it was actually proven that your brain, the parts of your brain for critical thinking and making critical decisions actually lessens.
Okay, let me read this. Decreased activities in regions associated with critical judgment and negative emotion evaluation, particularly in the prefrontal cortex.
Mind blown. So basically, this is a PSA, a public service announcement to all of you who are out there with these guys who you think are great, or girls, whatever the case may be. Hey, make sure you're using your prefrontal cortex, okay? Because some of our decisions are not the best decisions when we think we're in love.
But I mean, like, it's real. Like, has that ever happened to you?
Come on.
So
there's people to this day, I'll be driving down the road, I'll be like, what the heck was I ever thinking? What was I thinking?
Oh my
gosh. You know, like, and you know, I know you've had to have that. I know there's some of you who've had that experience as well, where it's like, oh, that was such a bad choice. But at the time, it felt so right. No, it was horrible.
It feels right. I think that's the most dangerous statement. Like, sometimes we just can't trust how we feel. That's just it. I don't know if you guys agree or if you guys are like real feeling people. I'm not downing on feelings. I think feelings are great, and you know, emotions is what make us human. But sometimes we just can't 100% trust just our feelings.
Right. And infatuation is many times based upon those feelings.
Yes.
And for it to actually be love, it's got to go past that part. And there's something that you said, that love is more than that. I think you said that love is an action, right?
Yes.
And when you say that, well, I can let you define it, but I know what I think it means when you say love is an action. Love is more than just me feeling good. Love is when I'm actually putting you first, right?
Yeah.
Many people think love is like, oh, I give 50%, you give 50%, right? And that's not it. I think real love is where I give 100%. I hope to get something back, but even if you don't give anything back, I still give 100%. That's love.
Yes.
That's action, right?
Yes.
And nobody wants to do that. Why? Because it's risky. It puts yourself out there.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that. It's like, no, if you're not giving your 50%, I'm not giving. But that's the reason, I believe, one of the reasons why so many relationships fall apart is because people are only going in halfway.
Ooh.
It's a risky place to be.
To truly love, it makes you very vulnerable.
It makes you very vulnerable.
And I think that's why we have to choose wisely, because if the person you choose to love, and I'm not talking about just loving a friend, I'm specifically talking about a spouse in a committed relationship
Right.
for life. And so if you choose poorly, that'd be a disaster.
It'd be a disaster. And I can't say that I truly love you, if I'm only giving half of me, because that's part of that love commitment is like, hey, I'm allowing you to see all of me.
Yeah.
Even those messed up, messy parts, I'm allowing you to see all of me. I'm going to give 100%, and I hope to give 100% back. But even if you don't give 100% back, I'm still going to give, because that's where love gets deep, is when when both people are doing that. That's where you see those extremely tight-knit relationships where people's marriages go on for like years and years because they've come to understand what that really means.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful thing.
So if we're talking about that kind of love, I would argue that it's definitely not blind.
Explain what you mean.
It's not blind, because what we're saying is that we see each other's flaws, we see each other's imperfections, and we still choose to love.
Well, yeah.
So in that sense, love becomes a choice. It is definitely not blind. Again, I understand the sentiment and I appreciate it. But real love is not blind. It is a choice. It is a choice that we make. And I think that's very empowering to those who want to fall in love, who wants to be in a future committed relationship, or who's in one. It's very empowering, because if you can't help but fall in love with someone, then maybe one day you can't help but fall out of love with someone.
Well, that was a question I was going to ask next is, do people fall in love? Do they just fall in love, or do they choose it?
Well, you know what my answer is. Because I think in order to really love, you have to choose it.
But some people would argue with you, and they would say, no, they fall in love, and you can't choose who you fall in love with. I've heard that many times. People say, oh, you can't choose who you fall in love with.
No. You cannot choose who you're infatuated with, because it's like a physical reaction, right? Like even after we're married, like I could still find people cute, or I could still find people's like qualities attractive. That doesn't mean I'm offering them any commitment. I'm not.
Right.
Okay, I find you cute.
So
Great.
I got to be careful how I say this, but I'm going to say it. I think you can choose who you fall in love with, and I also think you can even choose to some degree who you're infatuated with.
Okay, explain.
Look, if you cannot choose, then we'd have people who are falling in love with their sisters and their siblings. You understand? No, there's certain people who they may be attractive, but you've put a stopgap. Like there's
guardrail.
nothing that will ever happen with this person, right?
Yeah.
I have siblings. I have sisters. I think they're beautiful. There is no way that I am getting involved with any of them. You understand why?
Yes.
I'll put a stopgap there and there's other people. I have friends who I'm like, there is absolutely no way me and this individual will get together. Why? Because no, I've put a stopgap there. Are they attractive? Yes. I'm sure they're attractive, right? But is there anything that you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I think that you have a choice.
Yeah. No, I would agree. I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking, I don't know, you meet someone new and you find them attractive. It almost doesn't even go through your critical thinking part of your brain, because it's a reaction. I find you attractive, but I'm not gonna feast on it. I'm not gonna dwell on it. I'm not gonna.
It's the same thing when a woman, like, she might find a guy attractive, but his financial means does not meet her expectations. Poof, and all of a sudden, poof, everything's gone.
Yes.
I'm not getting involved with this guy. Why?
Because
he
it's
does
a choice.
Exactly.
Because
it's a choice.
she chose
She chose.
not to be with him.
And so I think that goes both ways. But I'm thinking it's not just you fall in love. Now,
No.
in those situations when you fall in infatuation, it's because we've let certain guardrails down.
Yes,
so
yes.
that they can be crossed.
Yeah. But I think some listeners would have trouble with us saying this because we have so de-romanticized love. I mean, that's not our goal. I'm not here. We're not here to burst your bubbles.
Well, but have we you saying we have de-romanticized love, or
No. We have, because we're talking about love in such concrete terms.
Yes, but in those concrete terms, we're not mentioning the feelings that come with that.
Yeah,
when
we
you
haven't
give all of yourself to a person, and they're giving all of themselves to you.
It's the most beautiful thing.
Not just the most beautiful. Think about it. I haven't even watched The Notebook fully. I've seen parts. I know you have. But you know The Notebook, the movie, right?
Yes,
right?
yes.
And people will go gaga over that movie because this person wanted to give all of themselves to them. You understand?
Yeah.
And so even a lot of that is infatuation. A lot of that is still not that deep, deep love. But when you see an old couple and the old man goes up behind his wife and he's just rubbing her back and stuff like that, everybody gets giddy. Why? Because it's such a long test. It's such a cute thing. But even if one of them is sick and he stays or she stays by him in the hospital bed, come on. It grabs us at the heart, right? And for them, it may be challenging, but they understand. They understand the feelings that come with that are so powerful. And it goes far beyond infatuation.
It's true.
Far beyond infatuation.
Yes. Yes. And those emotions and feelings is a fruit of the committed love, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not a one-time thing. It may start with a one-time thing that we call like wedding vows, but it's a daily choice. It's a daily recommitment of that choice that you've made. And that is what builds the depth of the relationship, I think.
So we've talked about what it's like in a marriage relationship, but a lot of our viewers are not married.
Yes.
Right? So here's a question. How do they find that?
Oh, find love?
How do they find that kind of love?
Yeah.
It's a good question, yeah?
It's a good question.
I got some thoughts.
Go for it. I got to think.
Okay, so if you want to find that kind of love, I always say it this way. Please don't take this offensively. But you need to be fishing with the right bait. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? You need to be fishing in the right pond, and you need to be fishing with the right bait. Okay?
Okay.
If you throw out the wrong bait, whatever kind of fish you want to get, you got to throw out the kind of bait to get that kind of fish. Okay.
What do you
understand what I'm saying?
Whatever do you mean?
So
this
if I'm
goes so wrong. I'm so nervous right now.
I'm just saying.
Whatever do you mean?
If I want to catch a shark, what kind of bait do I use?
I don't know
I'm
how to fish.
going to use chum. I'm going to chop up a bunch of fish, and the sharks will come swimming. Why? Because there's blood in the water. They don't care what it is. If I'm trying to catch a swordfish, if I'm trying to catch a specific kind of fish, I am going to use the specific kind of bait to get that fish.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
And I need to be careful. I need to be careful where I swim. If I'm swimming, if I want bass, I'm not going to the ocean.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So it all depends on what kind of fish you want. I know I'm not a great fisherman. I do love deep sea fishing, and you can't use sports analogies or anything like that all the time because they break down. I get it. But the point I'm trying to make is you can use whatever analogy. You got to be careful what you're putting out there, right? And what I mean is, you want to be very intentional about where you're going, the environments that you're involving yourself in, and the people that you're around. Because if you really want to find a prize, person, a person who has those values, then you need to go where there's people who have those values. You need to
That's a
be
good
involving
point.
yourself
Yeah.
in those type of situations and those circumstances with people of that caliber. I can't expect that I'm going to marry a guy and change him into that individual.
Oh no, no,
You
no,
understand?
no,
I
no.
can't expect that, and the same thing goes for guys with girl or no. All I can do is try to get into in situations or meet people that already have that caliber or who are growing in that way.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Practically speaking, if you're single and you're, because I hear some people, they say, oh, I'm in my early 20s, I'm going to focus on my career.
Right.
And so I'm just working 7 days a week. So what you're saying is you're not putting anything out there.
Right.
It's because all you're surrounding yourself with, unless you find a coworker you want to marry, like otherwise you're basically really limiting yourself, right?
You're
like
limiting yourself.
Practically speaking.
Practically speaking,
Yeah.
you're limiting yourself.
Yeah.
You're limiting your options. You need to be in the right environment in order to find the right people, right?
Okay,
And not
yes.
just the right environment. Also, I do need to work on myself, right? Because that's when I'm presenting. That's what I'm putting out, right?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
And whatever I put out, I guarantee you're going to get that like coming after you, right?
Yeah.
Like sharks, they will go after whatever. You understand?
Yeah.
And so we don't necessarily want a shark.
No.
You want a prize. You want a prize
Yes,
fish. You don't
yes.
want something that's gonna.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So,
And I think another aspect to this is knowing ourselves. I think a lot of relationships fall apart because of the lack of self-knowledge. A lot of times I think we have ideas, an ideal of ourselves
yes. Yeah.
that is very far off from reality.
Reality.
And then, but we're so convinced that we are this version of us, we are this. And so we go look for someone who's compatible with this ideal or this idea of ourselves. And, a couple years down the road, when you're committed and miserable, you realize, oh, shoot, I made a mistake. But it's not so much I chose the wrong guy. It's oh yes, I chose the wrong guy because I didn't know who I wanted.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't realize.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think for our younger listeners, it's just really important to really look in the mirror and really find out who you are.
Know thyself.
Yes. Like who you
To
are.
thine own self be true.
Yes, like what your values are. And I think those are, because values drive behavior.
Right.
So don't just look at behavior, look at the underlying
Exactly.
values that drive those behaviors. So what do you do when nobody's watching, right? Try to tease out what your own values are and then find people with similar values.
The
Right?
other thing I would say is we need to be careful. I'm not lost on the Shakespeare in Midsummer's Night Dream, which is mentioned in the animation also, where who was the queen? Was he Titania?
Yes,
Yeah,
Titania.
Titania, where she was in love with the guy with
donkey.
the donkey. Yeah, right.
Yes.
That's saying something. And sometimes. I'm speaking. I won't speak to ladies specifically, but there's a reason why it was a donkey's head, right? Because
Shakespeare's so
sometimes
brilliant.
we are so head over heels, and the person that we're with is a jackass, just a complete. Like, and we don't see it, and so it's we.
I've never heard you say that word.
In my life, no, I'm saying as the creature, not as a swear word. It is the creature. That is an actual creature, okay? Some of them, they are, and we're so infatuated that we're lost on it. It's important for us to be listening, I would say, to people who are very, very close to us, who we know have our backs, who we know love us, it's important for us to be listening to them as they gauge us and give us input on those that we're involved with as well. Because many times they can see things that we can't see, especially in that moment where we're not thinking as critically as we should be. And so that's something we have to take into account when we're trying to, right? And just remember, as I said, man, where you fish, like whales don't go after chum. This is the reality. Sharks do. So
Yes. 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 Yes.
Like,
Yes.
You got to remember this.
And so I have a story about that. One time I was dating this guy who all my family and friends are like, huh? Like what? Why? They nobody understood. But I guess I was super infatuated. I was in a new city, so I was in a very lonely stage in life. I have no friends, so this guy came along and I just kind of went along with it. And one time I think he was traveling to my hometown and I asked him to bring something back home for me.
Right.
And he did. And my dear sister opened the door and she knew this was my boyfriend, right? And she took the bag and she just shut the door on him.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So she shut the door on him, and my mom was like, "Why'd you do that? That's your sister's boyfriend." And she looked at her and she's like, "Joy's not gonna marry him. Why am I wasting my time?" Exactly. At that time, I was like, "Wow, that was rude." But now I'm just like, dude, like it's very telling how those people close to you, they sometimes. Understanding this 2004 study at the University College London is very important.
Right.
It's important to realize that when we're infatuated, we don't
think clearly. Yeah,
we don't. We are blind.
Right.
But to get to the love part, where we're consciously choosing a person
Right.
for the rest of our lives, like we gotta transition at some point, and so we gotta put on our glasses and start seeing at some point. Right. And sometimes we just need
that little nudge,
little nudge from loved ones,
member.
yes,
Exactly, from the family member,
or good friends,
yes.
right? They can see clearly because they are not infatuated.
Right. Yes.
So it's important to listen to them, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have many more stories, but I don't think we have much more time. So this is a great topic. We'll probably have to do a part 2 at some point.
Yes.
But we want to thank you for joining us today on Unanswered. Let us know your thoughts. Do you think that love is blind? Let us know. Or what do you think about our definitions of infatuation and love and the difference? And if you have a situation where you were with a person who had a donkey head, let us know that as well. But before you do all that, go ahead and press that subscribe button for us.
And follow us on your favorite social media platform. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, and X under Unanswered 100. So you can find us everywhere.
All the social medias.
Yes.
Thank you guys for joining us today for another episode of Unanswered, where we love to think, question, and connect. We hope to see you next time. Until then, bye-bye.